In this podcast episode, Ryan Holiday, a best-selling author and modern Stoic, shares profound insights about building self-discipline, battling procrastination, and maintaining calm under pressure. Drawing heavily on Stoic philosophy and personal experiences, Holiday demystifies discipline as a habit rather than an innate trait, and reveals practical routines and mindset shifts essential for thriving in chaotic and high-stress environments. The conversation touches on managing anxiety, overcoming ego, the pitfalls of procrastination, and finding lasting joy in hard work. Ryan Holiday begins by challenging the common misconception that discipline is a fixed character trait, something you either have or don't. Instead, reflecting Aristotle's teachings, he emphasizes discipline as an action, a consistent habit you build deliberately. To embody courage or discipline, you must regularly practice behaviors that reinforce those virtues. He suggests that simple, well-defined daily choices, such as going to bed at a consistent time or quitting sugar, are more effective than vague goals like just eat better. These incremental, clearly drawn lines create clear parameters within which behavior can be consistent, creating the foundation for discipline. Holiday draws from Seneca and other Stoics to address procrastination, labeling it a form of entitlement, assuming a later always exists to complete tasks. He recounts a personal story that brought this realization home. A friend who sent him an article was expecting a professional courtesy, only to pass away before Holiday could respond. This experience underscored the fragility and uncertainty of time. The Stoic practice of negative visualization, or contemplating worst-case scenarios, helps confront procrastination by breaking the illusion that time is infinite. Ultimately, procrastination is not just a delay, but a risk that opportunities, outcomes, and people may not be around later. Leveraging his experience speaking to military teams like the Los Angeles Rams, Holiday introduces the concept of panic rules, simple, unchanging principles to rely on when chaos erupts. Stoicism trains the mind to focus steadfastly on what is within one's control and to keep rationality free from emotional noise. These bedrock practices are deceptively straightforward but challenging. Focus on the present moment, do the right thing, and don't succumb to panic or distraction. This mental preparation allows for calm decisiveness during life's most stressful moments. Discipline, Holiday explains, functions as both constraint and liberation. Drawing on Monius Rufus's ancient wisdom, he outlines how short-term discomfort and labor produce enduring rewards and freedom later. Examples like cold plunges, early bedtimes, or physical workouts illustrate how current sacrifice yields sustainable benefits such as health, confidence, or financial security. Conversely, pursuing immediate pleasures may bring fleeting benefit but lasting shame or consequences. This interplay dispels the myth that discipline limits freedom. Rather, it expands it by offering long-term control and peace. Holiday shares that successful work and creativity depend on creating large, uninterrupted blocks of focus. He critiques modern life overloaded with meetings and distractions, arguing that white space on one's calendar is essential for deep thinking and generating ideas. Morning hours before the world awakens often hold the greatest potential for concentration. Using examples like Toni Morrison writing at sunrise, he urges aligning work with peak energy times and eliminating encoding distractions such as phone habits. This structuring requires firm boundaries and proactive calendar management, making focus the default rather than a rarity. Using the metaphor of audience capture, Holiday describes how creators and professionals may become enslaved by their followers' expectations, losing sight of authentic purpose in pursuit of approval or metrics. He stresses the importance of creating what resonates personally and truthfully, rather than catering to ephemeral trends or social media demands. Stoicism helps cultivate indifference to external validation by focusing on the work itself as the main reward. This realignment fosters longevity and resilience in creative endeavors. Holiday highlights ego as the most insidious internal obstacle to success and growth. While confidence motivates, ego blinds and isolates. He recounts witnessing firsthand how an individual destroyed a successful company by refusing to accept necessary criticism, demonstrating how unchecked ego accelerates ruin. Recognizing ego's telltale signs, defensiveness, entitlement, and refusing feedback, is vital. Holiday advocates for patience and self-reflection when facing criticism, allowing emotional reactions time to pass before acting on feedback. This tempering promotes objective judgment over ego-driven impulses. Knowing oneself deeply, understanding personal patterns, weaknesses, and triggers is deemed essential by Holiday. Stoics and thinkers like Epictetus teach that self-awareness can prevent destructive decisions born of unconscious impulses or immature emotions. Experience, reading, therapy, and trusted peers are tools for acquiring this knowledge. He emphasizes that many people are strangers to their own internal minds, which hampers maturity and wise decision-making during adversity. Holiday challenges the cultural narrative that success justifies misery. Drawing from the Bhagavad Gita and Stoic thought, he encourages professionals to value the process and craft itself rather than deferring joy until achievement arrives. Many athletes regret not savoring their careers despite fame or accomplishment. Holiday prioritizes intrinsic satisfaction, doing the best work, learning, and contributing meaningfully, while accepting external rewards as bonuses rather than the sole purpose. This mindset reduces burnout and enriches life's journey. Emphasizing reading as an active, sacrificial labor critical to wisdom, Holiday shares his analog note-taking system and the importance of revisiting texts over time. For him, deeper understanding emerges through engagement, repetition, and personal application, rather than passive consumption or rushing through content. He names several foundational works, including Marcus Aurelius's Meditations, Robert Greene's books, and Tolstoy's Calendar of Wisdom, that he repeatedly returns to, reinforcing that education and knowledge unfold over a lifetime. Holiday reflects on receiving negative feedback as an unavoidable part of public life. He advises reframing criticism by recognizing that universal dislike is statistically inevitable for anyone with visibility. Often, critics lack full context, and their opinions do not define one's value or success. Stoicism teaches that others' judgments have no intrinsic power, and that controlling one's own actions and integrity is what truly matters. He highlights a humorous Epictetus quote, "If people truly knew you, their judgment might be even harsher." Throughout the conversation, Holiday underscores Stoicism's practicality as a lived philosophy, not an abstract theory. Stoic principles equip individuals to face uncertainty, stress, and emotional turbulence with clarity and resilience. He encourages listeners to engage Stoicism rigorously, adopting mental exercises like negative visualization and embracing discipline as a path to freedom and grace in a volatile modern world. The philosophy helps maintain perspective and composure in moments when life feels most overwhelming. Ryan Holiday shares candid reflections on his background in marketing and publicity, including ethically ambiguous tactics used early in his career to provoke media attention. Though he appreciates the craft and challenge, he ultimately moved away from that work, seeking more meaningful and authentic contributions through writing and philosophy. This transition reflects his broader message that self-discipline and purpose require clarity about the work one truly values and consistent alignment with personal principles. On social media's challenges, Holiday discusses the impact of outrage culture and the constant demand for opinions. He suggests consciously choosing when to engage and when to remain indifferent to preserve mental health. Recognizing social media's design to provoke emotional reactions, he advocates limiting exposure and refusing to participate in toxic cycles. This digital discipline protects one's focus and supports commitment to meaningful work rather than distraction by trivial conflicts and external noise.